The transfer window is always a roller coaster for Rangers fans, filled with speculation, excitement, and the occasional wild rumor. But every now and then something cuts through the noise, a twist that grabs everyone's attention. And this time, it's not just about the player being linked, but who is doing the linking. In a move that has turned a few heads on both sides of the old firm divide, a former Celtic player has gone public, urging Rangers to go after a young striker who's been making waves with his impressive goal return. The irony of the recommendation isn't lost on anyone. When a former Parkhead man throws praise in the direction of Ibrox, it's bound to stir things up. What makes this story even more intriguing is the timing. Rangers are gearing up for a season that many fans already see as make or break. With pressure mounting to bolster the squad, especially in the attacking third, any talk of a consistent goal scorer joining the ranks is bound to spark interest. Supporters have seen flashes of quality in recent seasons, but the need for a reliable finisher remains a glaring hole. That's why this particular endorsement is catching fire. It's not just a rumor from a tabloid or a throwaway comment from a pundit. It's a calculated public suggestion from someone who knows the Scottish game inside out, and who perhaps more surprisingly sees value in a move to Ibrox for one of his compatriots. The player at the center of the buzz is Dada Turgeman, a name that might not yet be familiar to every supporter, but one that's making serious waves in Israel. At just 20 years old, the striker has already netted 15 league goals in 23 starts for Maccabi Tel Aviv. That kind of form is hard to ignore, especially when it comes from a league known for producing technically gifted attackers. The man behind the recommendation, Eyal Berkovic, the mercurial former midfielder whose own time in Scottish football, albeit short-lived, still lingers in the memory for Celtic fans. His move to Glasgow in the late 90s came with a hefty price tag and even heftier expectations, but the stint didn't quite pan out the way many had hoped. Still, his experience in British football gives his opinion a certain weight. Speaking to media in Israel, Berkovic made the case for Turgeman to make the switch to Scotland, arguing that Rangers would be the perfect platform to showcase his talents on a bigger stage. He didn't mince his words either, pointing out that while the Scottish Premiership might not have the prestige of the English top flight or the glamour of continental leagues, the visibility is undeniable. Rangers and Celtic, he argued, are broadcast regularly on British television, meaning a breakout season at Ibrox could easily catch the eye of scouts and clubs south of the border. That kind of exposure, he believes, could be a springboard to the Premier League. It's a compelling pitch. A young, hungry striker looking to make the leap to a higher level, guided by the words of someone who's been there before. Of course, Berkovic didn't just serve up a glowing review without caution. He was quick to highlight the challenges that come with such a move. Life abroad isn't easy, especially for young Israeli players. The weather, the culture, even the food, it all takes some adjusting. He mentioned that many Israeli footballers have tried their luck overseas and disappeared from the radar within months. It's a harsh reality and one that shouldn't be ignored. But despite those warnings, Berkovic is adamant that the potential upside far outweighs the risks. He knows that Turgeman has the talent to thrive and that Rangers could offer the kind of environment where a young player can grow under pressure, sharpen his skills, and attract bigger opportunities. And let's be honest, Rangers could use a player like that right now. Someone with a nose for goal, the ability to find space in tight areas, and the composure to finish chances when they come. If the club is serious about challenging for silverware, I'm making a statement in Europe, these are exactly the kinds of signings that need to be on the table. Meanwhile, the manager's seat at Ibrox was also a topic of some unexpected chatter this week. In a surprising revelation, it came to light that Rafa Benitez would have been interested in taking over the Rangers job before Russell Martin's appointment. That's according to Gregory Vignal, a former fullback who spent a year on loan at the club during their title-winning 2004-2005 campaign. Vignal, now working in Latvia as a performance manager, recently spoke about conversations he had with Benitez and Steven Gerrard regarding the Rangers position. According to him, Benitez was open to the idea, especially given that he's not currently managing a club and is instead involved with UEFA. It's a fascinating what if. Benitez, with his wealth of experience in Spain, England, and Europe at large, would have been a high-profile appointment. Whether the board seriously considered him is unclear, but just the fact that he was interested says something about the status and allure of the Rangers job. Vignal also joked about chatting with Steven Gerrard, asking if he had his Glasgow flat ready, a lighthearted nod to the constant speculation that follows the former Liverpool man wherever he goes. For Vignal himself, the dream is to one day manage a top club, possibly even Rangers. But for now, he's focused on learning, growing, and waiting for the right opportunity. Back to more immediate matters. There's also been renewed debate around goal line technology in Scottish football following a controversial moment in Rangers' final match of the season against Hibernian. Nicholas Raskin thought he'd scored to put Rangers 2 goals ahead, but after a VAR review, the goal wasn't given. The replay showed the ball incredibly close to crossing the line, but not conclusively over it. The frustration was clear, and once again the call for goal line tech was reignited. Scottish FA President Mike Mulroney weighed in explaining that even with better camera angles, the Raskin incident would likely not have been resolved unless proper goal line technology was in place. The reason players often block the view, and cameras alone can't always tell the full story. He pointed out that goal line tech is already used in the later stages of the Scottish Cup, semi-finals and final, but rolling it out across the Premiership would come at a cost. Around £1 million per season shared across the league. That means each club would need to chip in roughly £100,000. Now for some clubs, that's not a small amount. Mulroney didn't shy away from the reality, saying that for certain teams the money might be better spent elsewhere. Upgrading facilities, improving accessibility for disabled fans, fixing infrastructure. It's not just a sporting decision, it's a financial one too. But the debate is heating up. With refereeing decisions under more scrutiny than ever and the technology readily available, many believe it's only a matter of time before goal line. Systems become a standard part of the Scottish game. Mulroney also took the opportunity to defend the country's referees, stating that while mistakes are inevitable, the level of officiating in Scotland holds up well compared to other European leagues. He made a passionate case for supporting match officials, pointing out that while clubs back their players and managers' referees often face the storm alone, it was a reminder that the people in the middle of the park are human too, and that the pressures of modern football affect them just as much as anyone else. As the dust settles from a season of highs, lows, and heated talking points, Rangers find themselves at another crossroads. Transfer rumors are swirling, big decisions are looming, and questions remain about how the club will shape up heading into the next campaign. Will Turmans make the move? Could the spark of a suggestion from Berkovic turn into a genuine pursuit? Is goal line technology finally on the horizon for Scottish football? All of that and more is up in the air. The next few weeks could be defining for Rangers, not just in terms of who they bring in, but in how they choose to rebuild their identity on the pitch. There's a growing sense among the fan base that it's not enough to simply tinker at the edges. The team needs clear direction, a strong spine, and players who can handle the weight of the shirt. That's why someone like Turmans becomes such an intriguing option. He's young, fearless, and has that striker's instinct that can be taught. But more than that, he represents ambition. Going after talents who aren't just stopgaps or projects, but players who can make an immediate impact sends a message that Rangers aren't here to just compete, they're here to win. There's no denying the fact that Rangers have lost ground in recent years. Despite moments of brilliance, they've struggled with consistency and failed to build on the momentum of their historic title win a few seasons back. Injuries form dips and missed chances in key matches have all played a part. But now, with a fresh summer window and a chance to reset, the opportunity is there to close the gap and reassert themselves both domestically and in Europe. And for that to happen, recruitment will be everything. A player like Turmans doesn't solve all the problems overnight, but he could be the kind of signing that sets the tone. If he comes in, finds his rhythm early, and starts banging in goals, the energy shifts. It lifts the dressing room, boosts the fans, and gives the team that edge. Up front, they've desperately needed. Berkovic's comments, strange as it may be to hear them coming from an ex-Celt, could actually be a gift in disguise. A moment of unexpected honesty that opens the door for Rangers to move smartly and boldly in the market. Of course, none of this matters if the club doesn't act. Interest is one thing, but turning it into action is where it counts. The scouting department will have their work cut out not just with Turmans, but with all potential incomings. They've got to get it right. There's no room for another batch of signings that struggle to adapt or don't bring the level required. The squad needs hunger, experience, and quality in equal measure. And while all of this is playing out off the pitch, supporters continue to hope for more clarity on what the team will look like come the start of the new campaign. Will they see a front line capable of scoring for fun again? Will there be leadership? At the back, creativity in midfield, and a sense of tactical identity from the touchline, these are the questions dominating pubs, living rooms, and social media feeds across Glasgow and beyond. At the heart of it all, there's a club desperate to return to its rightful place at the top. And to do that, it needs more than talent. It needs belief, unity, and smart decisions. Whether it's listening to advice from unexpected sources like Berkovic or making bold investments in young stars like Turmans, now is not the time to hesitate. The pressure is high, but so is the potential. Rangers have the platform, the support, and the ambition. All that's left is to make it count. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. There's a fresh buzz swirling around Ibrox these days, and it's one that's got the terraces talking once more. Word on the street, and in more than a few pubs around Glasgow, is that none other than ALFREDO Morelos could be on his way back to Rangers. Aye, El Buffalo himself. After parting ways with the Light Blues in 2023 following a topsy-turvy 6-year spell, Morelos has had a rough ride of it abroad. A move to Santos in Brazil didn't quite hit the mark, with limited game time and an injury or two stalling his progress. Since then, his name has popped up in transfer whispers from Turkey to Mexico, but nothing's quite clicked like it did at Ibrox. Now, with Rangers heading into a summer rebuild and looking to sharpen their attack ahead of the new season, there's chatter that Morelos might be on the radar once again. Some sources suggest informal talks may have taken place, while others claim his representatives are gauging the club's interest. Nothing confirmed, of course, but the timing is raising eyebrows. Supporters are divided. For some, the Colombian hitman still holds legendary status. His goal tally, knack for scoring in all firm clashes, and fearless style earned him cult hero status. Others, however, remember the inconsistency, disciplinary woes, and late career slump that led to his exit. Would a reunion work? That's the million-pound question. The club's needs are clear, and if Morelos is fit, focused, and hungry, few would bet against him finding form again under the lights of Ibrox. Managerial approval and financial feasibility remain the big unknowns. For now, it's just whispers. But in Scottish football, whispers have a way of turning into full-blown headlines. Watch this space. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.